How many of you watching this here today have done loads and loads of personal growth and development? Hello and welcome to the Rise channel. I'm your host, Melissa Barnes, and today I want to talk to you about something that is a huge piece to your personal growth and development pathway. And today we're going to discuss your identity and what that means in the work. So, first, I want to ask a question. How many of you watching this here today have done loads and loads of personal growth and development work? You've invested in courses, in programs. Maybe you have a coach or have had a coach or a mentor or an advisor that you've worked with before. And you get moving, you gain some momentum, and then something happens, and everything seems to come crashing down back the same, or if not even worse than it was before. And that's because you are leading from a place of an old identity. Identity is, in fact, the cornerstone of all of the work that I do in my leadership and executive mentorship, as well as my private advisory for high achieving women. It all comes down to the identity. And so, this is often the missing piece in any of the courses, anything that you've read, any of your past mentorship, coaches, anyone that you've worked with have given you the tools that is required to achieve the goal that you're setting yourself to achieve. But the missing piece is that you are actually striving and running for those goals as the identity of the person that you were before. So, before anything can change for you, before anything can become what you truly desire, the identity of the woman who is driving to the goal must be aligned. This is the biggest missing piece. And so, if you've listened to some of my episodes before this, I have spoken about some of the loops that keep us stuck living inside of the identity that we once were. Now, not that there's anything wrong with who we were when we first set out. We had goals, we had dreams, we had big dreams, we had a mission that we wanted to achieve, and we set out to do that. And we did it amazingly well. We did it in grind, we did it in hustle. And so I speak about the loops and the patterns that will keep us running back to the old story. And so the cornerstone of my work is really diving deep into the identity piece and to break out of those loops. So, for example, I'll just use myself as an example here. The identity piece is huge for me. I lead an extremely high achieving lifestyle. I run two businesses. I run this business and I run an in person business. The last 2 months, I have been a full time executive leader in my in person business. And I've been working with my private clients, and I have 3 kids. I have 3 kids, you guys. I've got an 8-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a soon to be 16-year-old in the next 10 days. Um, we are extremely busy. And so, if my identity did not align with a woman who can carry all of that, and not just carry it, I don't mean carry it, I mean hold it all. So, we are capable of doing it. We're capable of getting it done. We're capable of being where we need to be. We're capable of running our business and being a parent. But if there are things that are not aligned, like you want to be a better parent, you want to be more in touch with your kids, you don't want to feel like the warden anymore, you want to be the mom, like you want to be the cheerful, happy, go lucky mom who cheers them on but can hold them accountable and be the spouse, the powerhouse in the boardroom and in the bedroom. You want to do it all. You've got to own the identity of her. You want your investments and your stock options to flourish and grow. Well, what's the identity of the woman who has that happening? And who is she when her stock options blossom and there's 20,000 income in her investment because she picked the right stocks? Who is the woman who leads her business and leads her team? Who is the woman that makes hires in her business to keep her business running while she's running a second business? Right? The identity of the leader is the core of all of it. And if you are feeling a disconnect, you're feeling not dissatisfied, that's not the right word. But what I would like to use is that there's a yearning, there's a calling, there's something more. Maybe you feel like you've got it, but like there's just this couple of things that you would love to change, or there's something missing, like you want to have more. And like there's nothing wrong with your life, but you would love to call in more, but you just feel like you've been doing the same things over and over and over again. And I want to encourage you to dive deep. Who is the woman who is leading this? Who's the woman in charge? And what does her identity look like now? Is it the identity of 20 years ago? Is it the identity from 10 years ago when you started a new business or you started hiring larger teams? Maybe you started outsourcing work or delegating some work. Maybe you hired an executive management to work for you because your business is growing. Perhaps you've scaled your corporate leadership position. Perhaps you're at the top. Maybe you've made it. Maybe you're C-suite now, or maybe you lead a team, right? But you feel disconnected and it feels so heavy. This is the work. This is the work. And it is the identity of the leader who is driving the boat. So, who are you and who do you need to be to get to where you want? And it is a piece by piece step of frameworks to get in. Where are we at? Where do you want to go? And who do we need to be to get there? And this can be for everything. This can be for anything. And this work is the primary foundation to all of my programs, whether it's private mentorship, whether it's private advisory. It doesn't matter what it is, but we are always going to circle back to the identity of the woman. Who are you as the leader? You are the architect of your own life. So, who do you need to be to build it the way you want it to feel? Not just the way it looks, but the way you want it to feel while you are in it. And when I speak about my book, The Disappearing Woman, this is the core piece, right? This is the identity work. These are the loops and the processes that we get stuck in because every day is sort of similar, right? We might have different days, but when you run a business or you work in a career, your days are sort of similar, right? We get up, we look after the kids, we get to the office, we have our calls, we run our Zoom meetings, we go to a speaking event, a networking event. We're here, we're having a lunch, we're going here, we're doing everything. And it's almost like it's on repeat, it's on autopilot. And you're like, oh, thank goodness that day was over. But you didn't enjoy it, right? Do you love it? Right? And these are the pieces of the identity work that will change your life. So who's the identity of the woman who runs two businesses and runs a household? And I'm talking like a household meticulously run by a schedule that is not our own, right? But it is the schedule that we live by, right? So who is the woman who runs two successful businesses, has three successful children in competitive sports, running 7 days a week, 12 months a year, 364, because Christmas we have day off? Who is the identity of the woman who invests her money, buys equity into other businesses, who leads other leaders, who goes into corporations, who helps leaders lead to the top of their ability by stepping in to their identity? What does that identity, what does the identity of a woman have to be like to do those things? What is the identity of the woman who goes and just cuts her hair off? Who is the identity of that woman? Who's the identity of you? And who do you really desire to be? Because I'll tell you that if you've been working frameworks to achieve a certain goal, and you've been working towards that certainty and you haven't reached there yet, it's not because you're broken. It's not because the frameworks don't work. It's because the foundational level hasn't been met. And the foundational level is, in fact, who you really are. Because I'll be honest, I think all of my clients come to me because I have a certain way about me and I resemble them in some way. Not maybe in appearance, but the things that I am doing in life, right? And the frameworks that I teach within. There's so many components that I work with my private clients on an advisory level, and that might be quantum. That might be trauma work. It might be leadership and executive coaching. It might be the identity of the woman who can balance and hold and have it all through all of the frameworks that I teach. And almost every client that I can think of has worked within the manifestation work with a coach or mentor or in a course, a program, a book, whatever, and it didn't work for them. And it's because the identity piece was missing. And that is the piece that is missing so often, that when we're able to craft the identity, right? You are the architect. Like, so who do you really want to be? Right? You want to be a powerhouse. You want to put on your power suit and your stilettos. You want to go rock the networking event, get up on stage and deliver a 7-minute powerful movement. And then you want to go home and you want to take the kids to where they need to be. And you want to be soft and loving and fun. You don't want to be a stone. And look, I've been there. I get what it's like when you feel like you're living in the grind all the time. You're a slave to the schedule. You almost start to resent your life, right? You resent it. You resent the kids' schedule. You resent your work schedule. You resent your husband is going away on a golfing trip and you're like, what? You're leaving me, right? And you're resentful of it all. But that is the identity piece, you guys. So this is the part that might be missing. So today, this is the powerful piece right here, okay? And it is who you really are. If you are trying to manifest, okay? And if you are trying to manifest, I want you to think, you do not manifest what you want. You are manifesting what you believe is true as the woman who has that, right? If I wanted to invest $1 million into a business, into someone else's business as an equity partner only, what would that identity have to be? Would that identity be a powerful woman, a leader who believes in other businesses to support them, who is financially wealthy and stable to invest that amount of money into someone else's dream, to support them in any way you can, in a belief that that $1 million will circulate and grow into a $2 million investment, a $5 million investment, a 10 million investment, and your ROI is going to 10x in the next 10 years. What's the identity of that woman? Is she scared? Is she nervous? Oh my gosh, what if this is the wrong move? No, she knows and she is steady and she believes and she listens to herself and her intuition and her guidance. She likely has a powerful advisor behind her who is leading her to make these powerful decisions as the powerful individual. So if you're trying to manifest something, if you're trying to build something, if it's not working, if you're trying to work on your marriage and it feels heavy, if you're trying to be a happy mom but it feels like work, if you're trying to lose some weight, if you're trying to change a routine and it's not working, I want you to know that it is all possible when we envelop and embody who we have to be to hold that. And if it's not working, it's because your old identity is actually just standing in the way of that. And I hope that makes sense because we bring forth what we believe is true. We bring forth and call in the experiences that we know are for us. And then we align with that belief as the human who's going to experience it, right? So think back today, your homework. I want to leave you with a question. I want to leave you with a thought. If you've tried things and you've given up, I want you to encourage that it is possible for you, that anything is possible for you. But there might be pieces missing for you, and it's not the same piece for everyone. And I know that, the industry itself and the mentorship and advisory and coaching industry itself has become slightly cookie cutter, where, this one program services 10,000 individuals. And I don't really run my business that way because we are not, right? There is an element to you that is only yours. And there's elements to me that are only mine. And so to have someone personally look at you, look at where you're at, look at where you've been, look at where we're driving to, and be able to sequence this work for you and be with you, that's the pivot that is missing for so many highly capable, powerful performers who are just kind of stuck in the fog, right? Like, yeah, I can see just enough that I can see, but I just can't quite get where I'm really wanting to be, right? And there's just so often this moment where you have somebody looking at you and they are your mirror, and they become the honesty, and they become the truth, and they will give you the frameworks and the powerful work that does this with you, right? And if that is you, I would love to meet you. I would love to work with you. And in my private advisory, I have many levels that you can work privately with me on a one-on-one. And I encourage you to keep going. Don't think that things don't work. I want you to know just one shift can change everything. Just like meeting one person at the right time can change your life forever, right? Please know that this is possible for you, and I believe in you. I'm going to drop some links in underneath this video for today to get you started on your way. There are a number of ways that you can get in touch with me. Here, I've got the Disappearing Woman book, which is a private book that you can download at home, work through the guidebook, read the stories, read the testimonials, get into the work, learn about those loops and the patterns and the beliefs of yourself that are really underlying every decision that you make. These are the decisions that they feel so hard. They feel tough. Like, what if, there's those loops and these belief systems that need to be broken, repatterned. They need to be, refoundationed in the truth of who you really are. So the Disappearing Woman is there. The Living Legacy Reset is a course that you can work through at your own pace if you choose that way. That's wonderful. We have the Legacy Woman Collective. It's a Facebook group. We've just started it. We will include those links below. And of course, if you would like to work with me or find out what it's like to work with me, we will have a book a consult at the bottom of this page as well, so that you can go ahead and book a call with me for a few minutes, get to know each other, and see how I can support you in your season of growth. And I just want you to remember that you truly are a limitless individual, a limitless vessel of possibility. And so are the people that love you. And we encourage growth to the maximum capacity for all humans on planet Earth, because the truth of the matter is, if we all believed that we were these powerful, out for good individuals, that we believed in ourselves, that we are highly capable and pure, and we just want the best for everyone, the world would be a very different place than it is today. And I encourage you to look in the mirror and just say that you are limitless and that you are worthy. And until next week, please check out the links underneath, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.